Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, thank you so much for this opportunity to join you today for this event on a very timely subject, technologies, artificial intelligence and education. All around the world, people are asking the same question. People from different professions, doctors, dentists, lawyers, financial analysts, and they're asking this question. Am I going to be replaced by AI in the near future? Am I going to be replaced by AI in the near future? Now, we as teachers, as educators, we're also facing that question. Many of us have tried to avoid it over the last 2 or 3 years because it's a slightly frightening world, or we feel we don't know much about it. But now we're facing it because of 2020 and because of the acceleration of technology that we've seen over the past year and a half. And I think it's fair to say that an answer is this: AI will not replace great teachers, but it will make great teachers inspirational. Technologies have changed many professions over the last 10 years, much more than us as teachers. Pilots 10 years ago are flying very different aircraft now than previously. Doctor from 20 years ago might be lost with quite a lot of the equipment in surgery that he or she would face now. Technology has been impacting on important professions, and an important profession like ours now needs to look very carefully at what it can give us and what it can bring for our students. So we're at this time where we need to make a choice, both as individuals, both as schools, and also as school systems. Are we going to continue as normal and close our eyes to the world around us, which is being influenced so heavily by AI? Because AI will not stop impacting on our lives in terms of how we shop, in terms of how we do banking, in terms of how we do social media. Or are we going to allow the whole discussion and the expertise on AI to disrupt what we're doing? Now, disruption is something that leading-edge schools have been doing for a long time, particularly NIS. Disruption has been where we've been looking at changing the old-fashioned traditional ways of teaching to bring in elements that we know our work, that we know have a high impact, and that we know are best for the students in our care. Interactive learning, changing summative assessment to formative assessment, the CLIL methodologies, the bilingual learning, the trilingual learning here in Kazakhstan, personalizing learning, bringing in the development of global competencies alongside knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, these are all examples of disruption, which most of you have been already involved with for maybe more than 10 years, perhaps more. AI is simply allowing us to, in a way, empower us to take this disruption further, because we know that education has been slow to change, and we are now looking at an opportunity to change it very, very fast. We may have been a wonderful musician in a wonderful orchestra in somewhere in Kazakhstan for many years. We may have been that musician, but now as teachers we have an opportunity, if we want to take it, to move from being an excellent musician, a great teacher, to becoming the conductor of the orchestra, because AI is bringing us opportunities to further develop and further improve the very important and very sensitive work that we as humans do and can do even better if we embrace AI. If we put our head into the ground and hope that it will just blow away, we will not reap this opportunity. But if we look at AI, if we understand AI, if we embrace and trust AI, and especially if we take control of AI, then we will become the super teachers of today and the super teachers of tomorrow, And we cannot go back to being the super teachers of yesterday without realizing that the world has changed and that we now have opportunities which we never had 10, 20 years ago. We've talked for a long time about the need to change our educational systems, and we've been working at that a lot. AI is not going to suddenly change everything around us unless we ignore it. We have to take control of it, because then we have an opportunity to fulfill that mission that many of us have had for so many years, which is to create students who are independent, imaginative, and passionate, global thinkers and passionate citizens of Kazakhstan. And to shift away from the old days where we had too many students who were dependent, they were compliant, and they were passive, interested in the test results, interested in the credits, not interested in the intellectual and human development. AI is offering us a range of opportunities. These cover, for example, enhancing the way that we personalize learning. They cover revolutionizing how we provide teaching and learning, especially learning resources, for students who have special or specific educational needs during the course of their lives. It enables us to look at developing powerful change to how we assess students through what is called blockchain technologies, which is where we actually empower students to take control of their portfolio building and to take control of understanding what they are good at, what they are weak at, what they need to be better at. AI is offering us already a whole range of opportunities, and these also include empowering us as teachers, because if we have immediate analytics of what is happening in the classroom, which students are performing well, and a whole range of issues, even including how much I'm speaking vis-a-vis how much the students are actually contributing, it empowers us as teachers. It enables us to individualize the curriculum, and who knows, one day we may even have robots coming into our classrooms to act as teaching assistants, or perhaps to take over some of the practice tutoring roles that we as teachers do now, but that we would like to have more time to do, and time which could be taken over by robots, no matter whether we call them Millie, Molly, or Mandy, or whatever. We have an opportunity to engage students as motivated, intellectual and globally competent human beings. And that opportunity will lead us to two very important mantras that I've heard already here in Kazakhstan over my past visits, and that we hear around the world, which is that we need to move from direct instruction to guided discovery. In the words of, we need to bring back the Vygotsky, the Piaget into the essence of our teaching methodology. And crucially, we need to have education which is about exploration before explanation. Whereas in the past, we tended to go for explanation, and then if there's time, some exploration. So the future is exploration before explanation, and the future is actually giving students ownership, more ownership of where they learn, how they learn, and when they learn. Now, for every super teacher here at the conference, for every super teacher in Kazakhstan, talk about AI is often frightening, it's often confusing, and it's something which we don't understand. And because we don't understand it, like the darkness at night, sometimes we're frightened of it. It's confusing. But I think soon we will see that for every super teacher, it will become as natural as DNA. And it will do this because we will be empowered to take control of it, and we will see, just like the pilots, just like the medics, that it actually enhances the way that we work, and it actually brings out the best results for the students in our care. So I leave you with this now. If not this, then what? is going to be the big next step in education? And if not now, then when? Thank you so much. I look forward to joining you soon in the open event.